Hello guys, I have made video for you. This is the educational video as a part of anatomy and physiology. If you like my video then please subscribe my channel and like the video. Thank you. Hello guys, I Shraddha Gajjar and today I am going to teach you about the pancreatic islets, pineal gland and thymus gland as a part of the education in the endocrine system. So be ready. First we will see the pancreatic islets, or we can say the islets of the Langerhans. The pancreatic islets are the group of the cell found within the pancreas that release the hormone. Okay, they found into the pancreas and you can see in the figure they are situated in the pancreas and they are the cluster of the cells and they release the hormones into the blood. They are the part of the pancreas and the part of the endocrine system. It is found in the clusters. You can see in the figure how cluster is seen. It is irregularly distributed throughout the substance of the pancreas. Okay, it is found in cluster and irregularly distributed. Unlike the exocrine pancreas, which produce pancreatic juice, there is no any duct leading from the cluster of the islets. Okay, they secrete their hormones directly into the bloods. The pancreatic hormones are secreted directly into the bloodstream and circulate throughout the body. There are approximately 0.5 to 1.5 million islets of Langerhans. Now, three main types of the cell in the pancreatic islets. There will be alpha cell, beta cell, delta cells. You can see in the figure pink color, that is the alpha cell, yellow color, that is the beta cell, and white color, that is the delta cell. Three cells are there in the pancreatic islets. First one, that is the alpha cell, which secrete the glucagon. Okay. Second, that is the beta cell, which are the numerous and they secrete the insulin. And last one, that is the delta cell, and which secrete the somatostatin. Okay, through three hormone production are there. Pancreatic islets are secreting three hormone: glucagon, insulin, and somatostatin. The normal blood sugar level or normal blood glucose level is between 3.5 to 8 millimole per liter, or we can say 63 to 144 milligram per 100 ml. The blood glucose level are controlled mainly by the opposing action of the insulin and glucagon. Okay, means glucagon increase the blood glucose level and insulin reduce the blood glucose level in our body. So both having the opposite action, insulin will reduce and glucagon will increase the blood glucose level. Now we'll see in detail. First one is insulin. Insulin is a polypeptide consisting of about 50 amino acids. Okay, insulin is made up of the amino acids. The main function is to lower the raised blood nutrients level, or not only glucose but also amino acids and the fatty acids. The action on the carbohydrate metabolism. Insulin increase the glucose entry into the most of the body cells and they produce the hypoglycemia. On the protein metabolism, insulin promote the amino acid uptake, decrease the protein breakdown, promote the protein synthesis, especially in the muscles. Now we'll see the disease related to insulin, that is the diabetes mellitus. It is a group of the metabolic disease in which there is the high blood sugar up to the prolonged period. Okay, not a short period there will be a high amount of the sugar into the blood, but up to a prolonged or long period there will be the high blood sugar. It contains many symptoms like the frequent urinations, or we can say polyuria, then the polydipsia, that is the excessive thirst, then the increased hunger, that is the polyphagia, and involuntary weight. So these are the 4 symptoms of the diabetes mellitus: polydipsia, polyuria and polyphagia. Now the second hormone, that is the glucagon. Glucagon acts mostly on the liver and the adipose tissue, where it is antagonize the action of the insulin, means it has the opposite action of the insulin. Insulin decrease the blood glucose level, while glucagon is increase the blood sugar level into the blood. Now it stimulates the glycogenolysis, means what? Glycogenolysis, that is the conversion of the glycogen to the glucose. Okay, and also promote the gluconeogenesis. Now what is gluconeogenesis? You can see it is from the lactate they will become the glucose, and in glycolysis there will be the breakdown of the glucose, means from glucose to the lactate. Okay, so this both process is done by the glucagon. Now third hormone, that is the somatostatin, that is the GHRIH, growth hormone releasing inhibitory hormone. The effect of this hormone also produced by the hypothalamus. The main action is to inhibit the secretion of the both insulin and glucagon. Okay, they inhibit the secretion of the insulin and glucagon when there will be need. It regulates the endocrine and the nervous system function. So up till now we learned regarding the islets of the Langerhans. Now we will move next topic, that is the pineal gland. You can see in the figure where it is located, red in color, that is the pineal gland. Now we'll see the anatomy of the pineal gland, where it is located. So location is a small body attached to the roof of the third ventricle. Okay, at the roof of the third ventricle, connected to it by a short stalk containing nerves, and many of which terminate into the hypothalamus. Okay, at the roof of the third ventricle. The size, that is the 10 mm long. Color, that is the reddish brown in color, and surrounded by a capsule. The gland tends to atrophy after the puberty and may become the calcified into the later life. Okay, so the atrophy of the pineal gland after the puberty. Now we'll see the hormone of the pineal gland, that is the melatonin. It is the main hormone, and secretion is controlled by the daylight, and level is fluctuate during the 24 hours period, being highest at the night and lowest around the midday. The secretion is also influenced by the number of the daylight hours or also the seasonal variations, although its function are not fully understood. Okay. Melatonin is believed to be associated with coordination of circadian and diurnal rhythm. Okay, mood, in that the winter depression associated with low mood during the winter, because there will be no daylight or no sunlight is there, that's why there will be depression. Then inhibition of the growth and development of the sex organ before puberty, possibly by preventing synthesis or release of the gonadotrophins. So these are the function. So this is the pineal gland. Now we will see the thymus gland. You can see in the figure, this is the thymus gland. Now we'll see the introduction. The thymus gland, it is a small organ behind the breastbone that plays an important function both in the immune system and the endocrine system. Okay, main function of the thymus gland, that is the immune system. Location in the anterior part of the upper mediastinum. Okay, in the anterior portion in the upper mediastinum. Weight at birth 10 to 12 grams. During childhood and adolescence 20 to 30 grams. During the old age the weight will be decreased, that is 3 to 6 grams. Color in children, that is the pinkish grey color. Now the functions. it initiate and maintain the T lymphocytes in our body. Okay, thymus gland that is produce lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. The hormone that is the thymosin, they produce thymosin hormone. It is required for the development of the T lymphocytes for the cell mediated immunity. For maintaining and for boosting the immunity, T lymphocyte is very essential. So guys, today we learned regarding the islets of Langerhans, pineal gland and thymus gland. Now if you have any query, you can ask me and comment into the comment box. Before that, don't forget to like and share my video, and please subscribe my channel for more videos. Thank you guys.